Watford silenced West Ham with goals from Troy Deeney and Gerard Deulofeu at London Stadium. Up on the London Stadium's big screens before kickoff were multiple West Ham players mocked up to look like Santa Clauses. The game was to guess who was who behind the Whitebeards. On the pitch, there was no need to throw a disguise over Troy Deeney as the Watford captain played the role of the villainous Grinch to perfection. You just know he loves it, too. Deeney scored, sprinted towards the home fans, tried to do a knee slide, failed as he bounced off the turf, got up, punched the corner flag out of the ground and laughed hysterically. He soaked in the hatred pouring towards him from all parts of that corner of the London Stadium, as well as the plastic coffee cup tossed in his direction. Gerard Deulofeu later completed the scoreline in the dying minutes, but West Ham were left asking themselves how they lost this. Michail Antonio twice hit the woodwork, while Watford's Ben Foster was in one of those moods that can tend to take over goalkeepers on the odd occasion. So there was no fourth win in a row for Manuel Pellegrini's West Ham, but there was a clean sheet for Watford, their first since October. As well as selling half-and-half scarves, the chap outside Stratford's underground station was optimistically trying to flog ones featuring Marko Arnautovic's face. The injured Austrian, watching from the stands at the London Stadium, resisted the urge to wrap one around his neck. West Ham hope he will be back in the squad next week and perhaps his inclusion will liven things up. For large parts of the first half, it felt like fans had munched too many mince pies and nodded off. There had been half chances. A Declan Rice header here, an Antonio thunderbolt there, but nothing too troubling. Then, Deeney, Mr. Watford, woke the place up. It started with a 1-2 between Deulofeu and Roberto Pereira. Just as the latter was set to pull the trigger, Fabian Balbuena lunged in, taking none of the ball but all of the man. Referee Lee Mason pointed to the penalty spot and produced a yellow card as Balbuena lay on the floor, having injured himself in the process. He was treated on the pitch for 2 minutes and Deeney waited patiently. After the delay, he took his spot kick and, my word, you don't stop these. He thumped it into the top right corner before commencing his celebration. The knee slide was an overwhelming failure, so he got up and smacked the corner flag into the air. As his teammates joined him, he continued to gloat in front of West Ham's fans, and Mason showed no card. So why the ill feelings towards the home side from Deeney? It perhaps has something to do with their meeting at this very stadium in September 2016. West Ham, Fabianski, Zabala, Balbuena, Ogbonna 34, Diop, Masuaku, Snodgrass, Noble, Carroll 56, Rice, Felipe Anderson, Antonio, Hernandez, Diangana 75. Subs not used, Cresswell, Adrian, Obiang, Zand Silva. Goals, none booked, Balbuena Watford, Foster, Femania, Cobicil, Cathcart, Holbis, Ducour, Caput, Sema, Cleverly 75, Pereira, Deulofeu, Mariappa 90+1, Deeney, Success 86. Subs not used, Gomez, Mazina, Kina, Okaka. Goals, Deeney, 30 pen, Deulofeu, 87. Booked, Cobicil, Holbis. Referee, Lee Mason, Lancashire. West Ham found themselves 2-0 up on that day and were showboating. Watford came back to win 4-2, and Deeney later said he felt the home side were trying to mug the Hornets off. Before the break, Javier Hernandez had a chance to score the 50th Premier League goal of his career. All of his previous 49 have come from inside the box and his volley was well saved by Foster. He will have to wait for his half-century. At the start of the second half, Robert Snodgrass whipped in a corner and Antonio rose highest, sending a header crashing against the post. It was as close as they had come. As they chased the game, Pellegrini threw on his 6 feet 4 inches plan B. Off went Mark Noble and on came Andy Carroll, as Watford readied themselves for crosses galore. Rice, who was making his 50th appearance for West Ham, was showing himself to be quite the commander in midfield once again. The 19-year-old is not afraid to have a pop at his fellow players, and that is precisely what he did when Arthur Masuaku made a mistake. The fans enjoyed seeing his enthusiasm but started to show their frustration, especially when Hernandez fluffed his lines in the 67th minute. Felipe Anderson put the goal on a plate for his teammate but, somehow, the Mexican scuffed his shot from 6 yards. A head-in-hands moment. Watford should have made it 2-0 when Abladequar had the goal at his mercy, but a point-blank save by Fabianski kept it down to 1. It had become end-to-end. Hernandez then looked like he was about to make amends for his earlier error when he had only Foster to beat. Deulofeu stuck a foot in to deny him. As we entered the final 10 minutes, Deeney had only Fabianski to beat but directed his effort into the goalkeeper's body. Watford should have been out of sight. Then, late drama. In the 85th minute, Grady Diangana sent a cross into Snodgrass, whose deflected header was going in. Somehow, Foster got a hand to it. The ball was dangling in the air. Antonio met it inside the 6-yard box but could only find the crossbar. Yet another missed opportunity. And so came the sucker punch. A series of 1-2s between Pereira and Deulofeu ended when the latter telegraphed the ball into the bottom corner. Job done.